Welcome everyone to another broadcast of Southern Virginia Athletics. Art Furler here with Mike Harmon as we get ready for tip-off of the second match of our doubleheader. The Southern Virginia Knights men's basketball team hosting the Penn State Harrisburg Nittany Lions. We mentioned it in the first game. Both the men's and women's team had a big win here at home against the Seahawks of St. Mary's on Wednesday. They were kind of flip-flop though. The women went down big early and then came back and won. The men's team went up big early and then it got a lot closer, but able to hang on for the win. As a coach, which would you rather walk into, Mike?
I'd rather walk into the one where you win. You start out in the beginning up ahead and stay ahead all the way through. The men's team, though, seems to have a little bit more finishing power. And so I like their situation right now as long as they can not get down by too much in this first half.
Well, the Knights never trailed in that game here at home. Would love to see them have a hot start. They start out 8-0 in that last game here at home. We'll see if they're able to do the same thing here against the Nittany Lions. We've got the starting lineups already in. Penn State has already been announced. They start number 0, Dante Vaughn. Number 13, Anthony Morgan. Number 23, Jazz Harris. Number 33, Bola Aliu. And number 42, Winton Lyle. Mike, who do we have for Southern Virginia?
Starting the same as we did on our last game. Number 4, Nate Adamson, and you'll see him in a mask today with a broken nose. Number 10, Anders Jacobson. Number 11, David Beatty. Number 30, Kevin Walker. And number 45, Justin Langford. And Langford was a big key in their win against St. Mary's.
Well, big key in a lot of ways. Scored a lot of points, had a lot of boards, but more than that even, he stayed in the game. He's had so much foul trouble throughout the season, but it was wonderful to see him not only stay in, not foul out, but to avoid fouls early so that his minutes didn't have to be limited so that they had him there at the end.
Well, before we get started, we want to again give out a shout out. We met David Beatty's mother. She's here today. She came over and said that she enjoyed listening to the broadcast. Being able to see David play, I think, is a little bit more enjoyable.
Probably more than listening to us.
But we're glad that she's here and hopes that when she goes home, she continues to tune in. Yeah,
thanks for everybody for watching at home. Hope we have a good broadcast for you. I have to say, I said during the first broadcast, but I'll say again, she really, she said, I like it because you tell it how it is. And sometimes David needs to hear that. So I think all of us need to hear that. I think all of our mothers would say we need to know what we're doing, good versus bad. And what we're doing right now is a tip-off. Bola versus Aliu, and it does go.
Yeah, that was kind of a little quick tip there. Should have got it to the apex, and I think he got it going up. Fortunately for the Knights, they're able to come up with it.
Beatty starting off from 3 and gets it.
And Mama's here, so it's time for him to start to come out and play.
Well, and you'd like to see that from Beatty. He's got such a confidence about him, and when he gets going offensively, he can be very, very effective. You want to see him pass the ball as well. We'll see. Oh! And the basket coming back the other way. The quick one to Morgan. We'll see if Beatty can balance his offense. And that, a quick foul.
And Kevin Walker.
The Knights have really had a lot of issues with fouls throughout the season, but the men's team particularly has shown a real ability to put their foot on the brake and get 3 or 4 and stay in the game and not foul out. And Morgan completes it, so we're tied at 3 apiece. 2 different ways of doing it. As Adamson brings the ball, the floor goes all the way. You know, sometimes you see players get a mask and they play a little more reserved, a little concerned. Not at all there. Adamson maybe even a little more aggressive than we're used to seeing him.
Yeah, he knows that his face is fully covered now, so if he catches an elbow anywhere, it's, right. It's not going to hurt.
There you go.
Well, this is game, again, of great importance to both teams. Both teams come into this with a 3-2 conference record, and whoever comes out with the win here has that leg up being in the top 6.
Shot way off there. Walker finds Langford on the run, unable to hit it. Adamson with the delay. And we'll draw the foul. It's going to be Anthony Morgan's first.
Again, it's nice to see the Knights attacking the basket, trying to get there. That'll compact the defense a whole lot more and leave some openings for some longer shots.
Oh, Beatty that time maybe should have gone up with it, but looked for the pass, stolen away.
Oh, big Euro step.
Yeah, huge Euro step, kind of delayed, but Jazz Harris able to find the basket, and we're tied at 5. It's kind of that slow developing Euro step. Jacobson slashes, shot no good, but will draw the foul.
And again, you see Anders, their big, strong body, more like a fullback out there playing point guard, able to get to the free throw line.
That foul on Jordan Wilson. Actually didn't show him in the starting lineup. Not sure if I missed him checking in or if there was an adjustment there. Apologies for that. Either way, Jacobson at the line. Boy, the last couple games, he's been very uncharacteristically off from the free throw line.
Yeah, and it's not for lack of practice. I'm here late after their practices, and I look out my window and see him shooting all the time.
There he is on the second to give the Knights a 1-point lead. Mentioned in the last game, the Knights never trailed. This one a bit more in contest, several ties along the way.
Well, and again, between two really good teams like these two teams, it's going to be almost impossible to lead the whole game.
Drive on that.
Yeah, they got David with a hand check.
And he immediately pats the jersey, knows it was him. Probably a good play. Could have finished that maybe, but you hate to see when your guys get a foul that early on what isn't going to be a gimme as far as points. And the floater is good there. The high arcing shot by Jazz Harris, who's got a quick 4, and there is the first lead for Penn State Harrisburg.
And I would expect that the leads go back and forth for the full game.
Adamson to Beatty. Very unselfish, finds Langford for the long jumper.
And that's what we saw Langford be so good at last game, was that free throw line jumper.
Well, and when Beatty gets well passing, he can pile up a lot of assists quickly, and it opens him up. Defenders have to guard him differently.
Oh, an illegal screen called.
The referee is certainly comfortable blowing their whistle so far. Well, appropriately so.
Yes, and with those illegal screens, again, once the screeners sets their screen, they not only have to let the offensive player get by, but they got to absorb the contact from the defensive player, almost close their eyes so they don't get caught moving.
Walker looking to drive and travels. Well, we saw the first game a little sloppy as well. This one starting out a bit sloppy. Some turnovers, 5 fouls already in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's a feeling out process, and we've seen this in men's games before.
Oh, great job. Jacobson jumping the route and goes end to end. Finishes through contact, and you love seeing that little nod at the end. Anders Jacobson, when he feels it, when he gets a little swagger about him, he can really turn it on and put in a lot of points. You love to see him get going early in the game.
Yeah, and he's been pressing, you could tell, in the last 2 games, or actually the last 4 games, the 2 that they came back after the break. He's been pressing, trying to find that shot again, and now it's really good to be able to see him just be able to get out there, find that aggressiveness, and find that confidence back.
And he makes the free throw to go with it. Now he's got 4. Bola Aliu picked up his second foul on that very quickly in just 3 minutes and change. And as a result, headed to the bench. Clinton Asalu in for him.
Oh, nice contest.
And Walker elevating for the rebound.
Oh,
nice
again,
soft.
Another good step through.
Adamson.
You know, and you're starting to see this more and more in basketball, where more players are taking the layups with their dominant hands, whether it's on the right or left side of the basket, just because better percentage goes in.
3 subs sent to the scorer's table for the Nittany Lions. Coach Friday not liking what he's seeing. Great contest by the Knights.
Got to be able to keep the box out, though. Once you make contact, you got to keep contact.
Strong finish by Asalu, cutting the lead back to 4, trying to keep it manageable. Adamson again to Beatty, to Walker. Oh, nice back pass. Beatty no good.
Little pick and pop, and David just a little bit strong on that. And you can see how fast Penn State wants to get down the floor. They send the first 2 runners down to the corner.
It rolls out. Beatty with the rebound, and that's going to be a block, it looks like. That quick reach in. And that's going to go against Anthony Morgan and his second foul very quickly. So 5 total fouls on the Nittany Lions in the first 4 minutes and 40 seconds, and 2 of them apiece on a couple of starters.
And again, that's the aggressive nature of the Knights. You saw David there get the ball on the rebound, turn and try to make a dribble out, bust out move, and was able to catch the foul.
Oh, good look to Walker, and Walker able to connect his first basket of the game. The lead back to 6.
Yeah, Rumbaugh and Thornton have checked in.
Marquise Daniels at the point, also newly in the game for the Nittany Lions, along with Khalil Williams, who boards that on the backside. And there's going to be a foul.
Yeah, they'll get Kale on that. And as you said before, he is a foul magnet.
He is.
At least for the first 10 seconds that he gets into a game.
So Khalil Williams to the line for the Nittany Lions. Makes the first. Also missed the entrance of Eric Sarini for Penn State.
And with the pace that both these teams want to play, I'm sure we're going to see a great rotating door of subs.
Walker to Thornton. Looks to give back to Walker. Can't do it. Beatty up top. Look down low, and there's going to be a quick foul over the back. The referee's really calling this one close. Masalu.
Well, and you'd like to see that.
You do.
The referees are in control. They can let it go a little bit. I'm sure we'll see them loosen up in the second half, but you'd much rather them be tight early than too loose early.
Yeah, you can start tight and then loosen up, but it's difficult to start loose and then get control after it's been lost. Walker. Ooh. Rough pass to Jacobson.
Dangerous pass there. Anytime you throw it across the court, it's got to be to the outside shoulder.
Good ball movement. And that's the foul. Rumbaugh.
And it's good to see Rumbaugh with that aggressive move. In the last game against St. Mary's, really didn't look like himself, didn't have that aggressive nature, was hanging his head a lot. So it's good to see him with that first aggressive move getting to the free throw line.
Agreed. Sarini picks up the foul, his first.
And already the Knights are in the 1-1 with 14-12 to go.
Very short on that first, though. The Knights have had some games this season where they have had incredibly high free throw shooting, and they've had some games where they've had incredibly low free throw shooting.
Yeah,
1 for 2 that time.
That's one thing that you'd like to be very steady. Again, no one can guard you. You're 15 feet away from the basket. It doesn't change. So you'd like to see the free throw shooting to be more consistent.
Consistently high, you would hope as
well. Yes, consistently high.
Thornton getting that one. Beatty off to the races. Splits numbers. Goes against 3 and does not.
Yeah, and you don't know if that was the best shot that David could have manufactured on that.
Shot from the corner is off.
Good job by Kale just to stand
not
straight
fouling.
up.
And reaching in, Cale Thornton, great job.
You gotta be the second.
Not fouling, corralling the rebound, bringing it down, not swinging the elbows, and that's 2 on Asalu. 8 fouls on the Nittany Lions in the first 6 minutes and 26 seconds of this game, 3 on the Knights. And that is 2 apiece on 3 players.
Yeah, but we can't stress enough how great that was that Kale didn't foul, just stood there straight up, understood that if he tried to go up for the shot block, the foul would have been called on him.
Well, and that would have been 2, and he would have very likely been off the floor and then connecting. Mentioned earlier as well, it's wonderful to see big men hit their free throws no matter where they are, what team they're on, but especially
if they're the Knights.
Yeah. Short arms the second. But on the opponent's possession, essentially, you'll take that. Spin to the basket, blocked by Rumbaugh. Not sure why there was a reset of the shot clock.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused about that also.
Doesn't really matter anyway. Walker comes up with it. And he sprints ahead to Rumbaugh. Back outside to Beatty.
You know, that's why they like Aaron coming off the bench, give them that little extra spark, not only offensively, but defensively.
Walker thought about a three. Goes inside to Beatty. Great job, kicks to the corner. Aaron Rumbaugh recycles the possession. Walker, no good. With the energetic effort by Beatty. Oh, good look. And you love to see Walker contest that shot, but that is a big height disparity. And Austin Chimuma on the board. Lead down to 4. Jacobson looks inside, finds Cale Thornton.
Nice seal by Cale. Able to move his feet, use that big backside that he has, and just hold everybody off.
Marquise Daniels now at the point for the Nittany Lions. Gives off to Ibn Hanif Nelson. Back to Daniels, and just taken away by Walker. Looks ahead to Rumbaugh.
Yeah,
offensive foul.
Yeah, the pass took Aaron way offline from the rim. You knew that he was going to try to go in for the layup, and the defender there, number 22, 22 Sedini, was able to just get back and take the charge. It's been nice to see Aaron just pull up for the little 8-foot jump shot there.
Well, he was 1-on-4. The run out, as soon as that pass was awry and sent him off his line, you got to realize the situation is no longer in your favor. Best case scenario, you have a contested shot that you may come up with. Worst case scenario is essentially what happened, where you don't get the basket and you get the foul, and you give the possession right back. We've seen a couple of times, once now from Rumbaugh and once from Beatty, where they're almost driving heat checks as opposed to distance heat checks, where you feel that things are going your way and you can't be stopped and make poor decisions thinking you can compound the damage.
You know, and sometimes those poor decisions, you can get away with them at home. But when you go out on the road, you cannot get away with those type of decisions, and I'm sure that's what the coaching staff will talk to both of them about.
Well, especially because here at home, if it pays off, it's huge because the crowd gets so much more behind you. But that's really an added benefit you don't get on the road. Very contested shot that time, but the stick back, no good. Beatty, great job by him. We also have Kellen Winslow in the game. Coming back.
Tough pass for Cale to try to handle.
And Numbers stepping into a three. No good. Adamson. And another lob ahead, just not smart. Going too fast.
Looking a little bit like the women's game that was
before this.
Both teams.
Very great job contesting that, but Daniels on the board. The Knights should hopefully just be settling down, take opportunities as they come, be smart with the basketball.
Attack the basket.
And Adamson called for an offensive foul. He doesn't particularly like the call. It's a 50-50. Saying he's moving into legal guarding space. But
your feet don't have to be planted if you're the defender. If you establish your guarding position, you can move sideways and backwards.
Long jump shot is off. Beatty looking to run. Loses the dribble. Oh, and he's hurt.
Looks like he may have tweaked an ankle.
Good look down to Cale Thornton, who misses it. Back up top for Penn State, who drives. Strong finish, but slapped off the glass, and it's coming back. Rumbaugh now.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them slow the ball down, set something up, attack the basket. 10 minutes, 11 seconds, 8 fouls on the other team. Get to the free throw line.
Yeah, drive and attack. It worked for you so far. The scoring was a lot more prolific early on in this half, and it's kind of slowed down as the Knights have settled for those jump shots.
Well, and the trying to force the runouts on both sides has just made this from a free-flowing, good-looking basketball game to a disjointed basketball game.
Well, it's also gone from 3 to 8, the foul disparity in favor of the Knights. Those last two, both offensive, so you hate to see that as well as your method of closing the gap. It's also worth noting to point out that what just happened there for the timeout, Coach Caputo saying timeout, but the ref didn't call it because he was telling David Beatty to call a timeout. Can't do it during live ball. Beatty calls timeout, and that's how we get where we are.
Yeah, and
change the rules this year.
A little bit of changing the rules, and again, it'd be nice to have both the women's rules and the men's rules be the same.
Sure.
You know, we're going at a different rate and a different route to get to the international rules. I don't know why both committees, the men's NCAA committee and the women's NCAA committee, just don't say, okay.
Good for
the ultimate goal is the ultimate goal is for us to really get to the international rules. Let's just go ahead and make everything that, because you have these kids at the 16 and under, 19 and under, 21 and under go to these great international tournaments and have to play by a different set of rules than they're used to playing with in the United States.
Well, the game is complex enough without having to remember that those different sets as you go along the way. It's so hard to get to where things are natural and they just kind of flow. Well, now you add another dimension to it.
The one international rule I'd really like to see, especially in the men's, is the no goaltending. As soon as the ball hits the rim, you can go up and just wipe it off.
Yep. Three-pointer just wide by Winslow. Now past the midpoint here in the first half. The Knights leading by 4 in what has been a fairly low-scoring contest.
Yeah, for the amount of shots that's been put up.
Well, and for how quickly it started as well. A lot of dribbling, under 10 seconds on the shot clock, and finally the pull-up. 3 is good for Jordan Wilson. His first basket of the game, and the lead now down to 1.
And for Wilson, usually if you check and see if you want to shoot and then have to reload, you don't hit it. He hit nothing but bottom.
Winslow barely able to corral that pass that was behind him. Checking his foot to make sure he's not over the line. Now shoots from the corner. Hitting just about everything. Throwing it in. Great effort that time by Jace Edmonds. But unfortunately saving it back to Penn State Harrisburg.
Oh, and the Knights are caught in a big mismatch with Adamson down low.
And that baseline jumper, good for Winton Lyle. And the Nittany Lions take the lead for the first time in quite a while.
Again, we talked earlier, this game is going to go back and forth. It would be a real monumental task for the Knights to maintain that type of lead through the whole game. Oh, that's got to be a foul.
Should have been a foul there. I'm not sure how that's possibly not.
Oh, and that's going to be an intentional foul.
Just getting in between people.
They're not going to call that.
I don't know how that was possibly not a foul over here, though. That was... That's bigger than anything we've seen thus far.
Yes, that is.
And so that's... Whew.
An intentional foul on Jace Edmonds. And anytime you go up around the head and neck, you're going to get that intentional foul.
Well, and I think I don't disagree with that call.
Yeah.
I don't.
There should have been a call here.
Exactly.
I'm with you.
And I think if that's called here, the intentional doesn't happen down there.
Doesn't happen at all.
Because it's the frustration of not getting the call here that all of a sudden compounds. It doesn't excuse it. It's still a bad call.
Yeah.
To make the foul, excuse me. It's a bad decision. But still, it's partially your fault and it's partially not.
Yeah, but Edmonds has to learn how to keep his head. He wasn't the one that got fouled here. He's coming in from the backside.
Right.
That was Adamson that got fouled, or the non-foul that was called.
Right.
And Edmonds.
Well, he got fouled. I mean, we can say he got fouled.
He got fouled. Wasn't called, but that's just that's something that could spark the Lions though to go on a big run.
So because the intentional foul, the 2 shots and the ball, and the Knights have to be careful not to let the frustration drive them to fouling more. Again, it was 3-8, now 6-8, the foul differential.
And the Knights really haven't done anything in the last 2 or 3 minutes to try to get to the basket.
Knights have numbers if they push, but they don't. Adamson waiting to set up.
Oh, nice.
Langford.
Langford just slow enough that people didn't notice him went running down the middle of the floor.
And that's going to be the easiest shot he gets all night. Might be the easiest shot he gets all season, Mike.
Well, we can only hope not.
That's true. 21 apiece in what has been a hotly contested contest so far. Both in competitiveness and emotion. That's going to be Langford called for the foul.
And that's okay. His first one, he's played 13 minutes.
Yep.
Or we've had 13 minutes of play. So.
Yeah, but it's worth noting, though, 4 consecutive fouls, all on Southern Virginia, 2 on the offensive end, 2 on the defensive end. Definitely a shift.
Well, again, though, the Knights have not helped themselves out by not attacking the basket.
It's true. It's true.
Penn State did leave Justin Langford wide open running down the middle of the floor there. There was no one around him to try to manufacture foul. But in the last 3 or 4 minutes, they haven't done anything to help themselves, help the cause out of getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, you've got to put yourself in the position where you force that call to be made. Jacobson with the board. Bringing it up, looking to go himself.
And you see Anders as he was jumping backwards, not accepting the contact. That's what's happening right now.
And
nice block by Langford and Jacobson.
Combining for that one. The Knights looking to run. Don't know if they want to. They don't, because it turns right back over. Now Penn State looking to move quickly. Also no good. Langford comes up with it.
Again, a lot of hurried offense, or just very disjointed offense.
Adamson trying to get the foul from behind. Can't do it. Walker from the corner for 3. No good. Still tied at 21 apiece, and a lot of shots have gone up since we got there.
The first 5 minutes, shooting percentages were through the roof. This last 10 minutes, we've seen them drop drastically.
And an errant pass. Shot clock is under 10 seconds.
Yeah,
you gotta wonder if the Nittany Lions know it. I don't think they do. They don't. Finally just gets that off. Not the shot that he wants, but a big rebound. Adamson realizes he doesn't have numbers. Delays for a second.
Oh, and they're going to call the foul on Jacobson.
That is the 3rd offensive foul called on the Knights so far today. You have to wonder if the Nittany Lions are just baiting that. I mean, I don't remember the last time I've seen 3 offensive fouls called on the same team in a game.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's something that's quite rare.
The foul differential was 3-8 favoring the Southern Virginia Knights. Since then, 5-0, including 3 offensive fouls in that 5-0 foul run against the Knights. Make it 6.
Langford. I saw that one.
6
Well, and usually you can attribute that to one of the coaches losing their mind, getting in the ear of the referees. Coach Friday hasn't said a word to the referees. We've been watching. Hadn't said a word, just been talking to his own team. When the referees are around, not even talking to his own team.
But still, a run of 6 consecutive fouls, 3 offensive, 1 intentional. Wow. Khalil Williams at the line to break the tie. Does not do it. And Cale Thornton with the rebound. We've gone almost 2 minutes at this 21-21 tie. Look inside to Jacobson, who waits and decides to kick it out. Beatty fighting over the hedge, shoots 3.
Oh, and the Lions just
Nice
checked
feed.
everybody out.
Looks for the lob and no good. And it's
Oh, they're going to call
another foul. Mike, this is 7 consecutive foul calls on the Knights. 7 in a row. I mean, and you can say it was 8-3 to begin with. I get that. But 7 in a row, including 3 offensive and an intentional. Wow. Marquise Daniels finally breaks the tie. And Nate Adamson will come out and Aaron Rumbaugh in.
Yeah, that was a rough call there.
Well, and I'm not saying the Knights aren't fouling, but I'm saying there's.
But he was already diving to the floor. I don't know if there was any kind of contact at all. All I saw was one of the Lions diving to the floor. Daniels was diving to the floor, and they just called the foul.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. There's just as much contact, it looks like, on both sides. Maybe a few more poor decisions from the Knights, but man, 7 in a row. Coach Caputo screaming for a foul, won't get it.
And this
going down the other end.
We started out saying that the referees were calling things tight.
Certainly not since. Once again. And the push up. Daniels now with 5, and it's a 3-point lead for the Nittany Lions. What do you say? Jacobson drives, kicks. No call on that. Beatty.
Oh, and
finally. Beatty will go to the line and break the drought. Man, oh man.
Wow.
Coach Caputo.
We went to a basketball game, and a rugby game again is broken out.
Well, Coach Caputo using the opportunity to tell his team, you can't get frustrated that you're not getting the foul calls. And justifiably, because, man, it's 10-9. It looks pretty even across the board. But when you look at even the 3-8 that we started off at, we're back and forth. It was 1 for 2 or 1 for 3. And the Knights get their first basket in quite a while.
When the Knights got to that 8, they really didn't do themselves any favors by settling for jump shots.
True.
Or getting into that up and down, let's try to throw these long passes and turn the ball over.
It's true. Beatty connects on both, and the Knights need it. The lead back down to 1. Penn State looking to go inside.
Yeah, run ball with the kick.
Good defense, though.
Good defense.
Presents that inside pass. And will force him to reset on an inbound play with 17 on the shot clock. Oh, and a little miscommunication. Does not result in a turnover. Walker, good job staying in front, contesting. And an air ball by Marquise Daniels.
Daniels was determined he was going to take that shot no matter what. He had a teammate in the corner by himself, no defender within 10 feet of him.
And that's what happens when you decide before you go into it what you're doing. And because as a defender, you can smell that.
Yes.
And Walker did. He stayed in front. He did exactly what he needed to do. And now pressuring on the backside is Jazz Harris.
And a foul.
And Jazz Harris, you could tell, applying pressure the entire way down, and ultimately gets called for the foul. And now we're back even.
Or potentially even.
Oh, I mean foul-wise.
Foul-wise.
Even
now we're even score-wise.
See, I can tell the future.
You can tell the future. Powerball is tonight, $900 million.
Second free throw and a chance to take the lead for the Knights. Jacobson. That's what we're used to seeing.
As we talked about earlier, 2 evenly matched teams.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a fantastic game.
It has been so far, for sure. Daniels again. Good feed inside. Cale Thornton.
Again,
No
great
foul.
defense by Cale. Pushed his man up underneath the basket and held his ground.
Beatty brings it up.
You know, when Cale doesn't go for shot blocks and just uses his body to screen out, he does fabulous defensively.
Rumbaugh looks for a man. Can't find him. Decides to take the 3 and too strong. And the jump kick. And the 3-pointer is good that time for Eric Sadini, his first points of the contest. And the Nittany Lions up 2. Beatty, Rumbaugh. Rumbaugh drives, gets it.
And that's Rumbaugh's game. Not to stand out and shoot the threes, but get into the seams, come to that jump stop, and rise up for the little 4 or 5 foot jump shot.
27 apiece. Jazz Harris and Jacobson. Back to Sadini. To Harris. Getting the pick. And a good pass inside. Thornton. There may have been a little contact on that.
Well, all it takes is just a little bit when you're up in the air to really throw you off.
It's true. That's Cale's second foul. Austin Chimuma went down hard on that. Good to see that he's up and all right. Basket is good. And the opportunity for a 3-point play. And makes it. The lead now 3. 2 minutes left before the half. Jacobson and Harris have had a bit of a contest between the two of them so far in this game. Beatty drives, spins, fouled. It's going to be Khalil Williams. Oh, no, excuse me.
Daniels.
The Knight faithful starting to get into it a little bit, but go quiet long enough to let Beatty make his first free throw.
You know, and that's what we need to see out of this smaller team that the Knights have when they're playing with essentially 4 guards and a center, is to spread it out a little bit more and drive, kick, expand and contract, and then find the foul.
With that basket, Beatty takes the lead for the Knights with 7, followed by Jacobson with 6, Langford and Adamson with 4. Jumper from the free throw line, no good. You cannot let a man come away with that. Beatty with some shake and bake all the way. Had some help, perhaps should have used it. And coming back the other way.
Yeah, McGuigan was up ahead, and Beatty should have gone ahead and passed it ahead. No one was in front of McGuigan.
The Knight fans reminding Marquise Daniels of an errant shot he had earlier. 10 seconds. Time running down. Great defense. McGuigan up in his face. And the pull-up is good that time by Daniels, unfazed by the short shot clock, and we're under a minute.
Night for day.
Beatty now with the ball. Oh. And how is that? What is going on? Jazz Harris with the easy basket after a steal at half court. And a delay of game warning on Jazz Harris after that. Coach Caputo looking for an explanation, and I'd love to know what he gets. That's the second time that's happened to Anders Jacobson, where he's been taken to the deck and not even gotten a foul call.
You know, and what you don't want to see is Anders to start to retaliate and
absolutely
start to use his strength to bowl through people.
Thornton now 10 seconds. And that shot no good for McGuigan. The Knights, I think, could use a halftime right now.
Yeah, they could.
Spend some time in the locker room and cool down if nothing else, because, man, 6 seconds. Shot is off. No good. And it has definitely been a heated contest. There's a lot of emotion out there on the floor. We talked earlier about how, the referees were calling it close because you can start doing it that way and make sure the game doesn't get out of control. There are emotions running very, very high.
They loosened up way too fast.
Yeah.
It goes from ticky-tack fouls to go ahead and just lambast each other.
Yeah. Whew. Well, we'll see how it shapes up here as the second half starts. We'll be back with some stats here in about 15 minutes. As of right now, the Knights trailing the Penn State Harrisburg Nittany Lions 29-34. Stay with us, folks. Welcome back, everybody, to the beginning of the second half of the Southern Virginia Knights men's basketball team hosting the Penn State Harrisburg Nittany Lions. The Knights trailing by 5, 34-29. Boy, the first half of the first half, heck of a basketball game. It was fun to watch. Teams were shooting pretty well. Things were pretty calm, and then it went crazy from there. I mean, I don't know what happened. Fouls got crazy. Emotions ran high. Things got out of control.
Yeah. Turnovers went wild.
Yeah. Decision making
went out the window.
Yeah. But we are where we are. It's a 5-point game. We'll see how it shapes up here in the second half. We got some stats from the first half. Some very interesting things all the way across the board. Penn State Harrisburg with 8 steals, 2 of them we'll call questionable with running through Anders Jacobson here at the half, including one right there at the end. Turnovers favoring them as well. 12 for Southern Virginia, only 4 for Penn State Harrisburg. What jumps out at you, Mike?
Well, the turnovers jumped out at me, but also the free throw shooting for Penn State, 6 of 11. That's something to file away for the back end of the second half. If you need to foul, you know that they're not that great of foul shooters.
Well, and rebounds as well, we talked about a little bit. 12 for Penn State Harrisburg, defensively 20 for Southern Virginia, but they've got 7 offensive rebounds. Also, the Knights at times live and die by the 3. They're dying right now. 1 for 10 from three-point land. That one dropping by David Beatty, who's 1 for 3.
And that was the first shot of the game.
Yeah. We are back underway here. Penn State Harrisburg a little disjointed on the first pass, warming up from coming out of the locker room. Spin move and the jump shot. Well off the mark. But the putback is there. No boxing out. And we're going to see
they're warning 11 and 13 to quit out the extracurriculars.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That would be Beatty, who's gets tied up in that from time to time. I think he does it to get in the head of his opponent. Always does it with a smile on his face, but the result can be the same. Langford with the long shot. Too strong. Fighting for it, but it's going the other way. Pull up immediately. Very long. That's twice that a very bad shot has turned into a quick basket.
Yeah, and long shots really about 80% of the time come off as long rebounds on the backhand side.
Walker fighting for that one. Able to complete the pass, but not successfully ultimately. And the foul being called against Kevin Walker. He picked up one very, very early in the first half. Talk about being able to tap the brakes and prevent another one getting called. It was able to do so for the entire first half, but now picking up a quick one.
Well, we'll see how the referees want to call this second half. If they're going to start out tight again, if they're going to pick up where we left off of being a football game.
Who knows? Walker steps in and fights for it. Comes up with the basketball. Wow.
And 2 very quick fouls. And that, again, Kevin Walker's a very emotional player. We've seen him do this against Bridgewater. But after he picked up that second one, he has to know that the referees are watching him.
Well, but it's got to be so frustrating with the way that first half ended. Seeing what was not being called to now come out and have stuff like that. It's got to be very frustrating as a player. You know, we talk about the difference in the rules at different levels and not knowing, changing the rules. It's the same thing here in this game, not knowing what's going to be called and what's not. That time, Justin Langford fighting for the rebound. The Knights looking to get their first bucket of this half. 4 points already on the board. Good dump off to Beatty. Finds Langford at the elbow. In and out. Langford fighting for it, no good.
And a turnover. And again, it looks like one of the teams trying to speed up a little bit too fast, looking for those fast break opportunities and just doing a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's worked for them so far, but Winton Lyle not expecting that pass to come out as quickly as it did, and that's going to send Kevin Walker to the bench after those quick fouls. Jacobson spins, looks for the opportunity, kicks out instead. Knights 2 bunched up on that side, allowing a single defender to guard multiple Knights. Anders Jacobson goes hard. Able to connect through a lot of... I don't know what a foul is, Mike. I just don't know.
Well, we'll just have to say there's a foul when the referees say there's a foul. And a technical. So that's going to be 2 fouls now on Anders. He picked up in that.
This is crazy. This is crazy. That's a tech on Anders Jacobson. In addition to the foul right there, he jumps from 1 to 3 pretty quickly. But
well, they haven't called. They haven't come over to call another foul on Anders. So
that was already called, though. I mean, they whistled for it.
They did whistle, but they never came over to call.
This has got to be so frustrating. It's frustrating to me. How can you possibly play this game and not know what a foul is? I mean, I just don't know. So, and they're taken out of bounds. They're not calling, I guess.
They have to because the shot clock started all over again.
And the referee's going to have another little chat. So they're calling it a personal and an intentional.
That's what they called. But no one ever came over to say there was a foul on Anders and the technical. They just came over with the technical.
Right.
So now they're just clarifying that is what happened.
So that is a third foul.
That is a third foul on Anders.
He goes from 1 to 3 very quickly. You know, Mike, we're paid to talk through situations like this, and I just don't know what to say.
Well,
they didn't.
Yeah, that was the referee should have came over and said there's a personal foul first on number 10, and then a technical foul on number 10.
In the meantime, Emmett third foul, so Jacobson and Walker go from 1 to 3 quickly and have to go to the bench.
Within the first 3 minutes.
For Anders Jacobson. After the Knights securing the rebound. Beatty running up the floor. Going all the way.
Another big Euro step.
And they could use it. That basket, the second for the Knights now, 33-39, trailing by 6. Oh, good job by Beatty stepping in on that one. Great look ahead. What in the world? This is ridiculous. Called by the referee who was ahead of the play, rather than the one who was right there.
Trailing it.
A fifth offensive fouls in 3.5 minutes. This
worked to Penn State's advantage in the last half. Maybe it'll work to the Knights' advantage in this half.
On the Knights?
And 5 in 4.5 minutes, or the 3.5 minutes.
What in the world? Yeah, 5. This is it. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. So, Jordan Wilson with the basketball. Swatted by Adamson. And the soft teardrop is good by Winton Lyle. What do you do as a player, Mike?
Well, you just have to keep on playing basketball the way the rules are written and hoping that the referees will call it the way that it's supposed to be written.
And that one taken away by Wilson. The look ahead, but just too quick.
Might be time for Coach Caputo to call a timeout just to get everybody settled down and back on the same page.
Not sure what the conversation is.
Well, they're trying to...
6 men on the court for starters.
Well, there was a sub that came in, and one of the person that got subbed in for didn't want to leave. Wanted to have a conversation with the referee.
I didn't know they got a say in that.
Well, obviously you can for a few minutes.
And another reach through. Very physical game, Mike.
Yeah, and you're starting to see the Lions really starting to ratchet up physically.
And the Knights struggling with it. Rumbaugh gets the basket. Count it. And that's going to be the foul on Winton Lyle, his first. And that streak is broken now. 5 fouls for the Knights. The streak is broken up by 1 for the Nittany Lions. And despite as badly as the beginning of this second half has gone for the Knights, they're down 6. They've got an opportunity to close it to as tight as it was at the half.
Yeah. And with the Lions starting to get out and play this aggressively defensively, that's going to open up a lot of backdoor cuts for the Knights.
You like on that, Coach basically using that as a timeout, trusting Rumbaugh to make the shots, not even putting anybody up in the box to rebound, and Rumbaugh connecting. Good block that time. Adamson getting up for it. Shot clock still winding, and the three-pointer, no good. And they're calling the, whoa, whoa. And now the technical foul looks like it's going against Beatty. Referees looking to get it sorted out. 30 foul on the common foul. And then the tech against Dave. You know, they always say it's the second guy that gets
called.
That's the call, and that's exactly what happened here. We spoke early on about how important it was to not let the game get out of hand. And it has so gotten out of hand at this point. That's 2 technical fouls against the Knights. 1 on Jacobson, 1 on Beatty. The Knights now have 3 starters with 3 fouls apiece: Walker, Beatty, and Jacobson. Wow.
And Aaron Nichols in for Beatty as soon as this happens.
Wow. Coach Caputo wanting to make sure that his opinion is felt among the referees. The lead's still 6. It's still close enough. You got to keep your head and fight in this game. You are not out of it. No reason to get.
By no means. We've seen them come back from a bigger deficit than this against Bridgewater.
Oh, absolutely. And stepped out. Great defense by Emmett Mosley. Not fouling. What a jump start he's providing. Not getting the foul, forcing the offensive player out of bounds. Big turnover, and Jacobson goes back to the scorer's table. He's got 3 fouls on him. But Coach Caputo's decided they need him back in this ball game. Langford.
It's hard to have those 3 young men sitting out at the same time. So,
absolutely.
You know, it's going to be a carousel here and try to manage their minutes.
And turnovers coming right back. Mosley out in front. Contested.
Yeah, I think Langford got a little bit of that.
I think he did. Now Adamson drives with a trailer, but turns and throws it right back. The Nittany Lions out in front, and Langford.
Yeah, he got caught on that reach, and he got a lot of ball, but he also got a lot of arm and leg.
That's going to be Langford's 3rd foul, which means look out, Nate Adamson, because you're the only starter that doesn't already have 3 fouls in the contest for the Knights. That'll bring Cale Thornton to the scorer's table as well, along with Jacobson. Marquise Daniels makes it. We noted that stat at the half, that the Nittany Lions had not been shooting well from the free throw line. They are doing better so far in the second half. And makes them both. Jacobson looks to drive. Backs it out and kicks. Dump down, lot of contact Thornton in trouble, goes outside. Jacobson with 10 seconds. Cuts, spins, finds Thornton, 5 seconds. Somebody's got to shoot the basketball. Jacobson.
And a shot clock.
What do you say, Mike?
Keep playing, guys, keep playing. Defensive stand here, get the turnover, or get the stop, and then come back down and, again, run the offense, get a little bit more movement side to side, and attack the basket.
It's an 8-point ball game. Jacobson with the rebound. Does not have numbers, looks ahead to Mosley anyway. Mosley pulls up. Too strong, great rebound down low. Off the glass, no good. Maybe got away with a step there, Wilson for Harrisburg.
Oh, and Kale with a karate chop.
Yeah, the refs must think Thornton was a starter because he gave him the third foul too. But Walker and Beatty come in the lineup. And a timeout taken by Coach Caputo. Wants a full timeout.
Again, he's got to get these guys back on the same page and calm them down a little bit. That's the big key. Emotions have to be checked if you want to be very successful at this game.
Well, and that's the difficulty, is you can control yourself. You feel like you can, to some degree, even control what your opponent can do, but as referees inject themselves into the game, that's a factor that you have absolutely no control over.
Well, that's where you got to work on those negative emotions. You know, you can have all the positive emotions you want, but again, one of the best pieces of advice I ever got from on a coach's standpoint is a coach told me you can only control what you can control. Everything else is beyond you, so you can't react to it. So, you know, positive emotions, someone gets a slam dunk on your team, positive emotion. Three-pointer, positive emotion. Referees make a bad call, that's on them. That's not a reflection of you. Keep going. Move on to the next play and don't dwell on, well, we're getting screwed over 8-2 on the fouls, or we're getting hacked and we breathe on somebody else, they give us a technical foul. You've got to move on to the next play.
Well, I absolutely agree. You have to move on, but at the same time, you have to stay aware, because whether or not you can control it, it's going to have an impact on you, particularly right now. So difficult. Jacobson with 3, including a tech. Beatty with 3, including a tech. Speaking of controlling your emotions and keeping your head, the last thing you want to do is pick up another tech.
Yeah. Well, and that would put you out of the game.
Right.
Two and you're gone.
So you've got 2 common fouls left in you, but only 1 tech for those 2 gentlemen as well. Eric Sadini at the line and connects. The lead is 11. I believe it's the largest lead by either team so far in this contest. And as low scoring as it's been, that is a big number to be up by.
Yeah, it's been a very physical game, and the shooting percentages are very low.
Cale Thornton up top. Hands off to Walker, who drives. And we got a foul.
You know, and Walker drove with a purpose, going in there, making sure that he got his head and shoulders in front of his defender.
So also let's review though, no player, there are 4 players on the Nittany Lions with 2 fouls, none with 3.
Oh, they got Cale.
So now Cale Thornton with 4. 5 Knights with 3 or more. No Nittany Lion with 3 or more. 9 fouls in the half on Southern Virginia, 3 on the Nittany Lions. Huh. That's all I'm saying. I don't make the news, I just report it.
Just report it, right?
Walker. Energetic defense. And a kind of a late whistle.
And they're going to get Kevin for his 4th.
Well, we talk about being able to put on the brakes and not foul out of games, and the Knights need it right now. This is just getting completely out of hand. So the referee's becoming frustrated with the coaching staff of the Knights coaching staff becoming frustrated with the referee. There's plenty of frustration
going on.
There's plenty to go around. Walker coming out now with 4 fouls. Jace Edmonds to come in the lineup for him. 10-3, the foul differential here in this second half. That free throw no good. Beatty with the basketball. Gives off to Jacobson. Beatty with the screen. Langford, no good.
Nice rebound by Rumbaugh.
And I don't know what a foul is, Mike. I just don't know what a foul is. (36-50) in the first 8 minutes of this second half. The Knights have scored 7 points. We're getting the call straight.
Kickball.
A kickball
on blue. So it's White's ball now. Rain with 20 seconds left on the shot clock. But one of the big keys is the Knights, every shot that they have is being contested hotly. The Lions are getting some open looks.
They are. Inbound to Edmonds. The Knights a little deeper in their bench than they're used to. Rumbaugh. That shot no good. And the long pass ahead. Oh.
He tripped himself up.
Yeah, stumbling on his own. And a hard foul by Eric Sarini, but he's got plenty to spare. It's only his second. So the Knights now 2 with 4, 2 with 3. And still no Nittany Lion with more than 2 fouls.
Well, and here's where the Knights can start to make up some of this deficit, is getting to the free throw line, scoring with this clock stopped.
Jacobson makes the first. It's Austin Shimuma and Winton Lyle on the floor for Penn State. Jacobson started off this game missing some free throws. Mentioned it was not like him, and he's certainly stepped up since then, doing much better at the line. And the Knights need every point they can get at this point.
Oh, and Justin reached in across the body.
And that is a 4th on Langford. 4 on Walker, 4 on Langford, 4 on Thornton.
3 on Beatty, 3 on Jacobson. Full house.
2 on Adamson, 1 on Edmonds, 1 on Rumbaugh. We also got the better part of a straight if you're interested.
As long as we don't get to the straight with that 5th foul.
Yeah, there you go. So that's going to bring in Walker, and it is Zach Porter's first entrance. Haven't seen a dunk, though, so we don't have a flush.
Haven't seen it.
Austin Shimuma barely draws iron on that. And the great rebound by Porter, who again just came into the lineup. And unfortunately throws that one right into the hands of Harris. Jazz Harris finishes through end to end.
Yeah, and on that pick and roll, Anders has to come off with at least 2 dribbles to make that pass, not 1 dribble and try to make the pass.
Yep. Beatty moves it around. Rumbaugh. Out to Porter, to Walker.
Oh, nice slip. And
makes
one.
it. and one.
Nice slip of the screen by Nick Porter.
Porter with a quick board and a quick basket. Immediately having an impact in this game after coming in. Jazz Harris gets the second. Still, his second foul. Still, no Nittany Lion with 3 or more.
Yeah, Zach, great body control and be able to absorb the hit and put it in.
Short arms it. The chance for the rebound. Lost track of it. Rumbaugh.
Not be able to put it in. Yeah, Zach didn't know where the ball was there and could have easily corralled it.
It hit the ground. Got to box out better than that. Shot clock reset for the Lions, and they're going to take some time. And the three-pointer, very short. The Knights look to run.
Again,
great hustle play at the other end.
There's your flush.
Almost a flush. Whoa! And Rumbaugh, this game is out of control. Referee's talking it over. So that's a foul on Austin Chimuma. Beatty will shoot. So I didn't understand what he was saying there, Mike.
It doesn't count towards the personal fouls.
Why is that, Mike?
That's one of the new rules where they've downgraded a lot of things. It's like an unsportsmanlike conduct, which is a technical foul. They get to shoot 2, but you don't get to keep the ball.
Okay. Well, regardless, the lead down to 8. It's the closest the Knights have seen in some time. That's got to be encouraging for them. I had Chimuma with 2. The scoreboard shows 2. Nittany Lions working down low. Great job by Beatty. That's about as well as he can defend it. Jacobson, they could use an injection from him at the moment. A lot of contact.
And he's going to get to the free throw line.
They're calling 33 with the foul. That's Bola Aliu. Even with the recent flurry of fouls, the disparity still... Oh, wait. That is Aliu's third, though.
That is his
I was going to say that the disparity is still substantial, and it is. Short on the first. Jacobson at the line for the second. And makes it.
And we're getting down to under 10 minutes now, so the clock is going to start to become a concern for the Knights. They're going to have to get some stops and get on a 2 or 3 scoring spree.
Jazz Harris really likes that dribble, likes to try to create. Doesn't have the ball at the moment, gets it back. And traveling, good call on the.
And it looks like he may have sprained his ankle.
Yeah, he is not putting any weight on that ankle at all. Marquise Daniels. You don't want to see anybody hurt, of course, and I love that Kevin Walker coming to help carrying him off. I love that.
Well, David Beatty was also standing there helping, making sure he didn't fall down.
Back, of course.
To begin with, so.
And I love seeing nobody, like I said, wants to see anybody hurt. There's that camaraderie. It doesn't matter for the moment what color jersey you're wearing.
Yeah, because they've all probably experienced one of those sprained ankles, and depending on how bad he turned over, they've all felt that pain, and they don't want to have any of their comrades out there that play basketball have that problem.
Yep, token pressure just slowing the Knights down. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Now 10. And that's going to be Clinton Asalu, called for the foul, his third. And that is the 7th team foul now. I believe the Knights got there about 6 minutes of game time ago. Beatty at the line. Good shot. He's a good free throw shooter.
Well, it doesn't matter that the Knights are in the 1-and-1. It matters what they do with it.
True.
And David stepping up to hit these, the front end of the 1-and-1 is great for the Knights.
Makes them both. The lead down to 7. Not out of it yet. 8 minutes to play. Knights look to trap.
A little half-court trap that we saw in the last game.
Penn State working the ball around well. And the pass goes awry. It's a turnover to the Knights, and the additional pressure helps out.
And you got the 1-3-1 that the Knights have working to their advantage.
7 at the moment.
So now they got to stop. What are they going to do offensively? It's got to be a good look at the basket or a foul.
Morgan in for Bola Aliu. Khalil Williams will come in for Asalu. And we're underway. The lead is 7. The chance to cut into it even more. Good look for Walker. Great look. Dump down and a hard slap.
And that's what you want. A good look at the basket or the foul, and they got both there. Just unfortunately, Zach wasn't able to control it enough to put it in.
That's Morgan with his 3rd foul now. We're just going around the horn, picking up 3rds for the Nittany Lions. Another big man hitting his free throws, Mike. Zach Porter does not typically see a lot of game time, but boy, he has been very, very helpful when the Knights have called on him today. Knew he missed that one. And stepped in. Great hustle play by Beatty. Unable to gather, though. And he'll stay with the Nittany Lions. And they're going to go in the press. Beatty looks like he's playing defensive back a little bit. There's that lob possibility.
That's where you don't want it, is into the middle.
Oh! That had to be with the body, because Porter looked to be clean up top at least. That'll be his first foul. Khalil Williams to the line.
And you don't want to try to trade possessions with them. We got to get stops and continue to eat into this lead.
Jacobson goes to Beatty. Working it around, back to Jacobson, who drives, stops, out to Walker. Clock winding short. And off the miss, Nittany Lions basketball. Coach Caputo calling off the press. Also good to see Jazz Harris back on the floor. Glad he's all right. Still running that trap.
And the baseline runner there just came free.
Sadini able to get an easy bucket. Extending the lead back to 11. It's been as low as 7, as high as 11 recently. Knights running out of time to close the gap. Have to start with it soon.
Oh, nice job by Porter to work through the contact.
Zach Porter with 5. The opportunity to make it 6 coming up, and Sardini with his 3rd. The Knights have not shot a lot of 3s, Mike, but they've gotten some 3-point plays, just like that one right there.
Well, that's the old-fashioned 3. Looks like a little confusion on what defense the Knights are playing right now.
Able to adapt, just running some clock, looks like, for the Nittany Lions. Man comes free for that one. That's too easy. You can't give him that. Williams with the easy pull-up jumper. Swings it, goes back inside. Rumbaugh to the outside to Walker. Got it! And the lead is back down to 7. It's the lowest it's been in a while, but it's got to get lower than that soon if the Knights want a chance to come away with this game.
Yeah, you'd like to see it be under 5 with less than 5 minutes to go.
Walker playing tight defense is screened off. Still just burning some clock. 9 seconds. And a great save.
Great save and great block by Porter.
Walker and Porter combining. Good look, no good. And it's turned over, going back the other way. Should be.
Offensive foul.
And Walker took a shot on that one. It is the offensive foul, but he paid the price.
He did.
Daniels doesn't like it. But it was a heck of a play by Walker right when the Knights needed it. And a timeout taken by Penn State. They have not put that foul in the book yet. So not sure, I believe it was Daniels. They're getting that clarified right now, but down to 7. The Knights have possession, the opportunity to cut into it even more and get it to that 5-point margin you were talking about. 5 is a manageable deficit at 5 minutes.
That's a very manageable deficit. You're feeling very good if you're at about the 5-minute mark and you're only down by 5. Again, 1 point per minute. That's a great way for you to get a stop. You know that Penn State Harrisburg is probably going to try to put some of the air out of the ball to elongate their possessions, and you know that if you can play great defense for about 25 seconds, you're going to get the ball back. And again, just come down, attack, make sure you get a great shot or the foul.
And momentum's been shifting in the Knights' favor a little bit as well. That's something you like to see with that 5-minute margin left. That you're not only in the fight, but you're trending in the right direction. Yes. Love to see that. There are some significant foul issues, though, the Knights have to be aware of. That's at least the second time this season we've seen Kevin Walker with 4 fouls
step in and take a charge.
Step in and take a charge, but does so. He's got 4. Langford's got 4. Thornton's got 4. Beatty and Jacobson with 3 apiece. Adamson with 2, and a handful of others with 1. On the other end for Penn State Harrisburg, Asalu with 3, Aliyu with 3, Sardini with 3, Morgan with 3, Daniels with 3, Harris with 2, Shimuma with 2, and a handful with 1.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Absolutely. Back to Beatty. Adamson finds Jacobson. Gets a screen. No room. Adamson drives. Off. Knights fight for it, but can't get it. And numbers the other way for the moment.
And that's the shot you wanted. You're right at the rim.
Yep. As you predicted, Penn State happy to run a little bit of clock. But relatively uncontested at the rim is Daniels. But what do you do with the foul trouble and with everything that's being called?
Well, you got to funnel them out somehow. Not let him get right to the front of the rim.
Jacobson looking for daylight. It's got Beatty. 10 seconds. Beatty delivers.
Yeah, nice little finger roll.
He's a little concerned it may have been a little too assertive of him to take it himself, but in this case works out. And the lead is back at 7. Playing tight defense. A little bit of a push off. 10 seconds. And that's difficult matchup on the glass. Couple of opportunities. Beatty comes up with it and takes the timeout. Beatty calls the timeout to save the possession. Good call at this point. I think it's probably worth trading a timeout for a possession. Mike, you think?
Yeah, right now you have to maximize every possession you have. If you give it back to Penn State Harrisburg, they're going to run another 30 seconds off the clock, and that's a possession that you cannot let happen.
Well, so at this point, saving it, able to go the other way, 27 on the shot clock with the opportunity to cut it to that 5. But the problem is now we're under 4. I assume if you want to be under 5 at 5, you'd like to be under 4 at 4.
That would have been ideal, but 5 is still manageable. Even when you get down to under 2 minutes and you're only down by 5,
sure.
It's still a very manageable issue. It's just with so many starters in foul trouble with 4 fouls, it becomes really hard to stop the clock.
Speaking of, there are 2 players on the floor for the Knights with 4 and a couple more with 3. Inbounds goes to Walker. Just token pressure to slow the Knights down, eat up some more clock. Walker finds Beatty down low. He's got a one-on-one matchup.
And
on the foul.
On the elbow. Moving into him.
Khalil Williams commits the foul, but has plenty of room, though it does put Beatty at the line, who again is a very good free throw shooter.
And score while the clock stopped. We'll trade a very contested shot like that for free throws.
Absolutely. Substitutions coming in. Sardini in, Lyle out.
And you see Penn State Harrisburg trading offense for defense now.
David Beatty makes them both. The lead is 5, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Penn State shot from 3.
And that's going to be Kevin Walker's 5th foul as he tried to run through the screen. And that's Kevin just not being smart. There was no real reason for him to do that.
Well, a 5th for him. He's had a quiet night offensively, only 5 points. But what he brings a lot, kind of like Jamil Gambi does to the women's team. His energy, his defensive prowess. There's a lot to lose by having him on the bench.
But that's something that Kevin has to be aware of. You got 4 fouls. There's no reason for you to try to run through a screen.
Yep.
You're more valuable to the team on the floor.
Yep. Unlike me.
Or me. That's why we're over here on the bench, right?
Right. Adamson will come in for him. First free throw is no good. Winton Lyle will come back in for Sardini. Second attempt for Williams is good. 1 for 2. The lead's back to 6. Adamson drives, kicks, Beatty for 3. Great board by Langford. No good.
Got to be able to put those down, Justin.
Rumbaugh pulls out the rebound, though. Tries to pass out, can't do it.
Yeah, Adamson trying to go through.
And the ball's tipped, stays with the Nittany Lions, who are going to pull it out. No! Going to jack up a shot. Continue to, but the Knights can't get a rebound. Beatty tips it out, but it's just more time running.
And timeout by the Lions.
And a hug between a coach and a referee there. I thought you could get ejected for that.
Well, I think the coach was calling timeout,
Right.
and the referee was looking and saying, I can't.
Appropriately ignoring him. Yeah, they're saying ultimately Anthony Morgan called the timeout. I guess my point is it's important that the referee realize that it's a hug in good taste.
Yes.
6 points now. The differential, 2:26 left.
Well, that's just two possessions that have just gone against the Knights. You have Justin Langford, point-blank range, and to put it down, then you have a hard shot contested or a quick shot even contested down here, and yet you cannot get the rebound. 3-4 offensive rebounds that went to the Lions.
Well, you can't give them those second and third chance
or fourth
opportunities to take shots. You also can't allow them to burn more time. I don't know why Penn State didn't work the ball outside. I guess they figured each of those were good opportunities to extend the lead, but whew, decision making.
Yes.
It's been an interesting day for that.
Well, and I think that's why they called the timeout. The coach was trying to get someone to call a timeout.
Right. Well, again, 2:26, the differential, 6 points. Penn State trying to come away from their trip to Buena Vista with a win for both their men's team and their women's team. They've got half of that done already.
Which is something that hasn't happened so far. No one's come in here and won a doubleheader this year. So the men have their really task cut out for them right now.
Always want to defend the home court. Looking to do that now. Emmett Mosley in the lineup for the Knights. He draws the assignment of guarding Wilson. He's doing so very well, frankly. Finally gets by him for the shot. That's about as tight a defense as you can hope for.
Yeah, but he has to have some of his teammates step up and stop that drive.
Needs to get by with a little help from his friends.
Yes.
Good look inside.
And we're going to have a trip.
Like to see Anthony Morgan there reaching down. Help a man up. You like that. Good to show it's not intentional. Especially those trips you can be misconstrued very easily. So nice to see the sportsmanship there.
Yeah, Zach just got his foot caught up with him, and you have to call it. As unintentional as it is.
Big man hitting the free throws. It's been very impressive today. Misses that one. And it's going the other way. Kellen Winslow to come in for Jacobson.
And I don't know if what the philosophy is that Coach Caputo and Winslow are going to have, but I may start fouling now to start saving some time. I mean, you're down by 7. This is
you've only got so many possessions left.
Yes. Well, if you play straight up defense now, you're going to get the ball back with less than a minute 30.
Pull up is very long. Saved.
No reset of the shot clock, though.
Time is winding. Still no reset of the shot clock. Beatty doesn't care, snatching the rebound. And he'll go end to end and put it in. The lead is 5, as close as that has been.
And still, though, if the Lions run this down, you're getting the ball back with under 40 seconds left and still down by 5.
Yeah, if you're just playing tight defense, this is the last possession you're doing it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa! Okay. Beatty coming in, making sure things get cleaned up. And calling the foul on Kellen Winslow. His first of the game. What in the world is going on?
And again, you always catch the second person, right?
Jazz Harris makes the basket.
Again, the Knights put themselves deeper into a hole here.
Harris makes them both. A minute to play. The lead is 7. The Knights have got to go quickly. Oh, and a player dives into the bench, scrambling
and
right
what's
back.
even worse is that now the Lions have the possession.
Yep. Khalil Williams with the basket. 9. The Knights have got to shoot quickly. They've got to get a 3. Taking too much time. Beatty steps into it. Gets it. Was that a 2?
No, that was
It had to have been a 3.
Yes.
I was going to say, I thought I heard 2, but he was well
Way
behind that
down the
line.
Yes.
6 points, man.
Well, you haven't done anything to shrink the deficit. Now you have to get into the fouling mode. That's why I was concerned about the minute 40 or so. That's when you really want to start fouling to save your time so you can come down and get those shots. Now it's going to be the ball coming in, you're going to foul, but still you're 30 seconds to go in the game.
Well, and especially if you start a little bit earlier, you can get that foul, or you can get that tight defense quickly, try to force a quick turnover. Now you can't wait.
Yeah. And you could have fouled who you wanted to foul.
Right. That's
now
true.
you have to foul who they're going to want you to foul.
Yep.
Well, some other games are going on in the CAC. You have Frostburg at St. Mary's, and Frostburg is up at the start of the second, 35-34. You have Marymount at York, and they've won. The Marymount men won 72-53. And we have Salisbury at Mary Washington. Salisbury won 81-70. So there's some great games going on in the CAC. This is one of them score-wise. Mm-hmm. Looking at it, though, a lot of things that both teams will want to clean up going into the next game, and hopefully be able to watch this game and figure out where they exactly lost the momentum.
Mike, I'm going to be very careful about what I say and say there are several organizations who may want to look at this game and clean up some mistakes they've made. I'll just say that. 36 seconds, looking on the inbound.
And that's going to be Jacobson's 5th.
No,
his 4th.
Fourth. You hate to see him have to step in and commit the foul, but he's one of the few players that has one to give.
Well, again, if you're going to, you're going to foul. This is when you, and I don't want to say they're expendable, but you put in bench players now that haven't been in or only have 1 or 2 fouls. That's their job. You foul as soon as the ball comes in. You foul.
Well, and it's nothing about their capability. It's about their situation.
Yeah,
they've got fouls to give.
Yeah, they got fouls to expend.
Mm-hmm. First is good for Williams.
And again, now we're having to foul who Penn State wants us to foul.
Lead is 7. It'll stay that way for the moment. Rumbaugh comes up with the rebound. Got to go fast. Jacobson steps into a 3. Too strong. Rumbaugh with a great rebound, but is swatted. At the immediate foul by Nichols. White, they called that on Jacobson. I thought it was on Nichols. My apologies. That's Jacobson. He's done. But again, in that situation, if you're Nichols, you should be.
You should be raising your hand.
Yeah, like it was me. I fouled him.
I got him. Again, that's something that you practice in practice. We had drills where we had 2 people go at it. If you were the ones that had expendable fouls, as soon as the whistle was blown, you started deliberating. That was me, that was me, that was me. And most of the times the referees will take your word for it.
Both good for Daniels. Emmett Mosley moving up the floor. Gives to Rumbaugh to the corner. No good. Back another one, Beatty. Gets it. Beatty with 24 points. He has showed up for mama. I'll tell you that. But he needs some help. You look across the board, Jacobson with 11. Outside of that, Rumbaugh with 8. Zach Porter with 7. Not the folks you would think.
Well, and you need to have at least 3 people in double figures if you want to win these hotly contested Capital Conference games.
Well, the Knights not there. Well, Jacobson, like I said, with 11, but outside of that, just really difficult scoring. But David Beatty, he's plumb putting on a show offensively. He's really been connecting on pretty much everything he's wanted to do, but what really impresses me is he hasn't been forcing it. He did a couple of times early on, but generally speaking...
Well, those last 2 threes were really great because they came from the inside out, and he was able to step into the 3. Now it becomes almost academic. Penn State gets the ball in. Assuming they get the ball in, we foul. Now, if I was the Lions coach, I would tell him, just let him go to the basket. It doesn't matter.
Yep. Pass gets in, and again, it's McGuigan.
And you get Williams, who's been to the free throw line numerous times now and has got that feel for it. And with 8.8 seconds left to go, again, I would let them go to the basket. You take 4 seconds off there. Again, we don't know the philosophy of the coaching staff, and they have their game plans, and so far this really worked well for them. You just have to sit back and wonder, what if they would have started fouling at about the 2-minute mark?
As you mentioned, Williams making a living at the free throw line the last several minutes, making that one as well. Misses the second. The Knights moving it up quickly. Oh, and that's frustrating.
And
Coach Caputo calling off the dogs.
It's done. The ball comes in. It's over.
And that will be your final score. The Penn State Harrisburg Nittany Lions 74, the Southern Virginia Knights 67. And a lot of frustration on the face of the Knights. Some of it is because of the way that they played, I'm sure. Some of it is not. It has been a while since I've seen as many technical fouls called in a game. It's been, it is not a common thing at all that we see some pushing matches broken up here in the Knight Sports Arena. But we had a bit of that today. A lot of things we're not accustomed to here in this game.
Yeah, hotly contested game. Started out really a beautiful game to watch, and it kind of just fell out into a disjointed physical game that the referees are really trying to clean up, or what the referees are supposed to get a hold of. This drops the Knights to 3-3 now in the conference. Their task of making that top 6 has become a little bit harder. If they could have held serve throughout the season with all their home wins, that would almost guarantee them a spot. Now they're going to have to go into someone else's house to pick up that extra win, and also hold serve here against great teams like CNU that we'll see later on.
Well, a tall task ahead of him, but I'm not worried about it. David Beatty said they'll be there. I trust him. After the performance he's had today, how do you not trust him? Well, that'll do it for us today. Again, the final score, the Southern Virginia Knights men's basketball team fall to the Penn State Harrisburg Nittany Lions 67-74. Make sure you join us for our next broadcast, which will be on January 20th, Wednesday, right back here for some more conference action. The Knights taking on Mary Washington starting at 7 o'clock. For Mike Harmon and the rest of the broadcast crew, I'm Art Furler. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a good night.